You ever come across a phrase that seems so simple on the surface, but you just know there's something way deeper going on? Well, today, we're jumping into one of those very phrases from the book of Revelation. It's a super short sentence, but believe me, it carries a warning that's been echoing for almost 2,000 years.
And here it is. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Sounds straightforward, doesn't it? But context is absolutely everything here. See, this line pops up right after a pretty intense vision of immense power and deception. So this isn't just some friendly advice. It's more like a spiritual fire alarm, and it's practically screaming at us to listen in a very, very specific way.
So what's the real puzzle? What is this ancient phrase actually demanding from us? That's exactly what we're going to figure out today. We're going to break it down piece by piece and really uncover what's hiding in plain sight. Let's dive in. Okay, so to really get to the heart of this command, we have to go back to the original source. We've got to look at the language it was first written in, Koine Greek. Trust me, this is where the true weight of these words really comes to life.
And here it is in all its glory. Now, I know it might look a little intimidating, but the key to unlocking the power of this sentence is to look at each individual word. Every single one was chosen with incredible precision, and there's a reason for that. So let's break this down. We start with atis, which basically means if anyone. Simple enough. Then you have heus, has an ear, meaning the physical capacity to hear. But the real punch, the part that changes everything, is that last word, akousato. Now, this isn't a gentle suggestion. In Greek, this is what's called an aorist active imperative. It's a direct, urgent command. It's not saying, hey, maybe you should listen. It's saying, you, listen, and do it now. And get this, it's not just a one-off comment. This exact phrase, this command, shows up 7 times in the book of Revelation. In biblical terms, the number 7 often signals completeness or perfection. So when you see this repeated 7 times, it's like a divine highlighter pen is circling it, telling us, this is critically important. Do not miss this. Okay, so we've decoded the language, which is super cool, but what about the deeper spiritual meaning behind this command? We know what it says, but now let's explore why it's being said. What exactly are we supposed to be hearing? All right, so this isn't about the physical act of hearing sounds with your ears. It's a call for spiritual discernment. It's an urgent plea to pay really close attention, to understand things on a much deeper level. And, this is the most important part, to actually respond to what's being revealed. This is the perfect way to think about it. It's like watching a magician. One hand is doing something big and flashy, right? It's designed to grab all of your attention. But while you're distracted, the other hand is quietly doing the real trick. This verse is a warning. Hey, don't get mesmerized by the distraction. The real threat often hides right out in the open. And this kind of spiritual hearing is what lets you see past the smoke and mirrors to what's actually going on. And that leads us to the most crucial point. In this context, hearing is basically another word for obedience. It's so much more than just understanding the words. It's about the full acceptance of God's message, which then leads to faithful action. To truly hear is to believe, and then to act on that belief. Now, according to the text, not everyone can just tune into this frequency. This special kind of hearing seems to be for those who are described as being spiritually sealed, or those who are loyal to the Lamb, a name for Jesus. It really echoes that famous line from the Gospel of John, "My sheep hear my voice." It's a call for a specific group to listen for a very specific signal. All right, we've dug into the ancient Greek, we've explored the symbolism, but what does a 2,000-year-old warning have to do with our lives today? Let's bring this whole idea right into the 21st century. When you boil it all down, this is a message about cutting through the noise. And let's be honest, we are living in the noisiest time in human history, right? We are constantly bombarded with information, with distractions, with competing ideas. So this ancient call to develop a focused spiritual attention, to find the signal in all the static, is maybe more vital now than it ever has been. It's a survival skill for the modern world. And that really brings us to the final and maybe most important question. This ancient command isn't just a piece of history, it's a personal challenge to every single one of us. In our world of endless notifications and constant chatter, how do you train your ear to hear? How do you find the focus to listen for what truly matters? That's something we're thinking about. Thanks for joining me.